You young scoundrel, Algy, you must get out of this place as soon as possible. I don't allow any bunburying here just before merriment comes on. Thank you. You young scoundrel, Algy! You must get out of this place at once! I don't allow any bunburying here! I wonder if the moment when you're free to express your real feelings, if whether your energy should be a little bit more schoolmasterly. So that I'm going to give you a bloody good thrash. So it's Algy who's the frantic one, but you're more kind of...
Keep it tight around the table, should we? When we did it yesterday, we thought it was better round the table rather than sprawling.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I quite like the fact that that Algy is sort of, well, I'm going to get, or whether that's playful or not. But I think Jack's energy should be a little bit more.
Yeah.
You young scoundrel, Algy! You must leave this place at once. I don't allow any bunburying here. We wanted to find a play that would fit in with it being the last production ever to be held in the Library Theatre before we go on the exciting new chapter in the story of the company.
You are too much alone, dear Dr. Chasuble. You should get married. A misanthrope I can understand, a womanthrope never.
Believe me, I do not deserve so neologistic a phrase.
I think the thing is about the importance of being earnest is that, of course, the text is really extraordinarily well written. I mean, all the characters speak, including the menservants, in a very, very detailed and articulate way.
And it's amazing to do scenes that are so well written and with these incredibly eloquent characters that you don't come across very often. And it's so much fun to kind of get behind how they can come up with these retorts and these arguments off the cuff like they do. It's great fun.
Pray sit down. I may call you Cecily, may I not? With pleasure. And you will always call me Gwendolyn, won't you?
If you wish.
Then that is all quite settled, is it not?
I hope so.
The way Wilde writes is that he does so much of the work for you because he writes so beautifully and so wittily, and you have to be at your best to honour what he has written.
Yes, and I think in terms of the challenges of it, because it's so incredibly erudite and very clever and very witty, it's just, there's a huge danger, isn't it, of just rattling it off, because you can have introduced you to everyone as Ernest. Answer to the name of Ernest. You look as though your name's Ernest. You are the most earnest-looking person I ever saw in my life. It's perfectly absurd you're saying your name isn't Ernest.
I think his language is extremely difficult. I think as an actor you need a huge amount of stamina.
How dare you! This is no time for wearing the shallow mask of manners. When I see a spade, I call it a spade.
There's a particular way he writes, and to some extent all the characters speak with his voice, I guess.
The difficulty is coming on and acting your pants off. But yet making them interesting at the same time and making them real people.
But you've got to find your own path through it. So there's a kind of double challenge of finding a character, but finding a way to honour that style of writing. So it's a really interesting challenge.
To read all and resign to his loss, his son return seems to me to be peculiarly distressing. And of course, these very long sentences, which it's a period thing, but you realise that with modern plays, you don't have to think that length of thought.
You are not to talk of Miss Cardew like that. I don't like it.
No, I don't like your clothes. You look perfectly ridiculous, and why on earth don't you go and get changed? Perfectly childish to be in deep mourning for a man who is actually staying with you for the whole week as a guest in your house. I call it grotesque.
sense.
You are certainly not staying with me for a whole week as a guest or anything else. You're certainly not staying with me as a... You're certainly not staying with me for a whole week as a guest or anything else. You've got to leave by the 4:05 train.
We're now in week 3 of rehearsal, and it's quite interesting because we're concentrating on putting a lot of the detail in and making sure that everything's got an interesting texture and making sure that the energies are precisely right. So it's quite an exciting stage.
Men should be more careful. This very celibacy, what is it? This very celibacy leads weaker vessels. This very celibacy leads weaker vessels astray.
But is a man not equally attractive when married?
No married man is ever attractive except to his wife.
And often I've been told not even to her. Take me, Canon.
This very celibacy leads weaker vessels astray.
But is a man not equally attractive when married?
No married man is ever attractive except to his wife.
And often I've been told not even to her.
And the danger is that you can get sidetracked into speaking rather artificially, as though there isn't any real life going on. So I think the challenge is to make sure that every second of the play is filled with real life, rather than people speaking witty things artificially, because I think that's not very interesting after a bit. What you want to watch is a love story or a social disaster happening, not just simply people being witty. So that's what we're trying to do.
It will be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
But when did you become engaged? Is that right? But how, darling?
Yeah, good. Okay, great. Let's go from there. Uncle Jack would be very much annoyed if he knew you were staying until next week at the same hour.
Uncle Jack would be very much annoyed if he knew you were staying on till next week at the same hour.
I don't care about Uncle Jack. I don't care about anyone in the whole world apart from you, Cecily. I love you.
Oh my God.
Keep your eyes closed for a minute.
With Ernest, there's quite a few decisions to be taken because it's a 3 distinct set play. So you've got to make that decision quite early on how you're actually going to attack it as a piece. The whole point of the designer's work at this stage is really to communicate their ideas, and the more attractively and artistically they communicate their ideas, the easier it is for other people to sort of access what they've got in mind. Because in the end of the day, the designer is producing the design work, but they're not actually going to be making the costumes or building the set. So it's important that they communicate what their ideas are, what sort of mood they're trying to aim for, what sort of quality, what the spirit of the design will be like once it's on stage.
Fingers crossed this all works, and you have to put your arms back together.
Back.
Yeah. Okay. Could you move your hair out of the way?
Oh, yeah.
I've got a clip. So volume and size-wise, you're happy with that, yeah? Yeah. Right. Now, if you could bend your elbow.
There's a great amount of quality control involved in this stage of the design work for me. So I'm looking at costumes that are being made and saying, oh, I wanted it a bit more like this or a bit more like that. So you're sort of checking and monitoring the work that's being done.
This comes
Oh
into
no,
it like that.
I don't. I wouldn't like that. I'd like more, something like that just coming over
Yeah.
on satin or something. I'm actually servicing my own design now, really, and so I'm finding things that match the model and finding colours that match the model.